What's up, YouTube? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is where you're at today. I just really wanted to make this video. There's no groundbreaking information. There's no brand new information. This is just information that you as a consumer, particularly as a car shopper, may not pay attention to, right? So I was in the market for a car. I had a car and I noticed it was a loan. I noticed that my loan was upside down, meaning which I owed more than the car was valued at the time. And that really bothered me. So I started looking into cars and I realized that I couldn't afford to buy a used car just because I don't want to spend all that money. So I have it right here. I ended up purchasing a brand new car, and right now this is where I'm sitting in my 2018 Toyota Highlander, and there are a few things that I want to talk to you guys about, and you can see it there. MSRP of $40,500. There's just a few things that I want to talk to you about regarding purchasing a new vehicle. Matter of fact, some of these steps could be utilized when purchasing any vehicle. So I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. I'm not a YouTuber. I don't have money. I'm not going to buy something expensive. These are just basic, simple tips and tricks that I learned on here on YouTube. And I figured that, I'm not going to write an article. I'm not going to just tell two people that I know. I'm going to share this with as many people who want to watch it as possible. Further on, I think I might do a couple videos on some things that I'm adding to the truck that I didn't buy with it, just because of things that I learned here on YouTube as well. So let's get straight into it. The first thing is, when you're going to buy a car, do your research. Get as much information as you can. Meaning, watch the review videos. Watch the long-term review videos from like KBB, Edmunds.com. All those people. They do long-term ownership reviews of the car over a 2-3 year period. So you will know how the car does over time. You can kind of equate it to your needs. So for me, I wanted a family car. So I want to know if it can carry a family of 6 comfortably. It's my wife and myself and 4 kids. We wanted to know if it was efficient, if it was economical on, gas and maintenance and stuff like that. We wanted to make sure that it was, it's practical, right? We're going on a little vacation across the state. It can take care of that. It can carry some suitcases, some bags, and everybody. You know what I'm saying? We're not looking to be fancy. We don't want a Lamborghini or nothing like that. So it's all depending on your need. Do your research. Watch the reviews. Read all the articles. Get as much information as you can. Okay? Then never, ever, ever go to a dealership or call a dealership and say, sell me a car. You make sure you know what you need, the type, the trim level, what you need before you start any communication with the dealer. And when it comes to communication with the dealer, this is my next step. Don't go to the dealership until you're ready. Until you have talked to the dealership, you've worked out numbers, don't go. Even if today is the last day of the sale, don't go. Okay? If you ain't ready, if the numbers aren't right, do not go. No deal expires. Don't let nobody tell you that. no deal ever expires. Okay? Any deal you get from Tom, you can get a same or a better deal from John. Okay? It's very, very simple, but they have these words or these phrases that they tell you offer expires end of day. Right? Nah, that's not how it works. Another thing is, when you are doing your research, it's very important that you check out TrueCar.com. Okay? Over on TrueCar.com, you can look at the vehicle, get the specific build you want, and when you get into TrueCar.com, you select that car and you zone in on that one car, you can get on their website, and when you're looking at that particular car, down below on the bottom, just scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see a graph. And that is the statistics of the sale of the car. It'll show you average sale price of the car. It'll show you the high sale price of the car. And it'll show you the best price that this car has been sold for. It'll tell you what percent off MSRP for that exact same trim of the car. Okay? Then when you go there, make sure when you look at what the best price of this car is, you shoot for the best price or better. Okay? So for my car, particularly, when I went to look at the best price that it had sold for before was $2,000 more than the price I wanted. Okay? And how I got the price I wanted was, I said to myself, I want to get between 18 and 20% off the MSRP of that car. That particular trim level, 18 to 20% off. For a Toyota, it's very difficult to get it because the brand is so reputable, and they know the product that they put out there is pretty good, so they hold very firm on prices to an extent. So you, as the consumer, have to know what you're getting into. Like, probably if you're really trying to get into a Chevy or a Kia or whatever, they usually have bigger rebates. FCA sometimes comes out with some pretty good rebates as well. So when I went into this, I wanted to get that amount off MSRP. It was going to be hard because, one, I was not going to finance with the dealership. I was not going to finance with Toyota. I was not going to get every single rebate because, reading all the rebates, some of them came with stipulations. So I had to get that discount just by arguing with them. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a given. Some people, if you want to go finance with the dealership, great, you could do that. I don't recommend that because dealers always trying to upsell you to boost their profit. That's their only job, to boost their profit. So coming down to the financing, if you want to finance your car, the best solution to financing a car, get your financing before you start shopping for the car. So after you had your research, you know what kind of car you want, you call up your bank, preferably your credit union. It's a great asset to deal with a credit union because they're less predatory than the commercial banks and then the car dealerships that just do finance, or just the finance institutions. Okay? So what you do, what's your budget? You know your budget. You know how much money you want to borrow to get this car. If, depending on your situation, don't just go get a new car just because you think you can make the payments. I mean, for me, it was in my budget and we wanted to do this, and it's going to be a long-term car. So it was a good decision for us as a family. So get your credit union, say, hey, I want to buy a car. it's going to be a 2000 and whatever, and this is the amount of money that I want to borrow for this loan. And they'll break it down for you. They'll tell you this, that, and the other, how much your payment would likely be. You know, even if you don't run a credit report with them right away, they can give you an idea without all the back and forth, without getting all your personal information and all that. Your credit union, who, you know, takes care of your finances, they know how much money you're getting paid and everything. So they're basically in your business already. They'll give you a straightforward number that you can work with. And then you'll say, okay, I can borrow $30,000. Great. You want to borrow $30,000? You then can go out and say, I want this car for $28,000, basically, right? So you go and you know how much money you got in your pocket to put down. You don't tell the dealership that. You just let them know, hey, I want this car. What is the price? And one important thing to know is that if you start at a larger dealership, that one of your volume dealerships in your area, in wherever, you can buy the car anywhere. Just hit them up on the email and say, hey, I need some quotes for this car, this trim level. Just send it to my email. Okay, you don't have to talk on the phone with them like, every single time. Got to break down all the numbers. Not just tell them, send you the email, and you'll communicate that way. Usually they'll respect the fact that you just want to communicate with email. You just communicate with email. That way you're not calling them. They are usually going to give you the lowest base price for this car. What volume dealerships do, on the other hand, is they try to sell you everything. Like they try to say, okay, well, the floor mats cost this, and you got to add that in, and this costs that, and stupid things. Okay, don't get into that. They send you this price. That's where you start your negotiation. When you say, okay, I have your information, I'll talk to you soon. You hit up another dealership, closer, maybe a smaller dealership, and you say, hey, what's your quote for this particular car, this particular trim level? I need to buy one of these. Same thing again, communicate with me through email. Give them your email, let them hit you up. You'll see the numbers. You can compare them side and side. You reach back out and say, hey, so-and-so is giving me this car for $30. I really don't want to pay $30. And then they're going to say, well, that's a really low price, and you don't care. Okay? I don't care about how your business is run. This is the price I'm going to pay for the car. Can you match, or can you beat it? Okay? And you have to know that if they can't match or beat the price, then you move on. There's 1,000 other dealerships ready to fight. And a lot of times the smaller dealerships want to keep up. So in your negotiation process, don't let the dealership try to tell you we need to do this to make a profit. Okay? Try to be the customer that buys a car that they can only count as a sale. I'm going to say that again. Be the customer that buys a car that they can only count as a sale. You're not going there to make them $5,000 off this sale. You're going in there to buy the car just so they can sell it. Because if they sell you the car for 50% off, they will still make a profit. And I promise you, this is facts. Just do your research, read everything you want to read, watch every video you want to watch. If they sell you the car for 50% off, every single car dealership will make a profit, no matter how small it is. You don't care about that. You want the best deal for your family. Okay? After that, when you get the dealerships now to start compete with each other to get you the lowest price. And you don't have to leave your house and go do anything until you get the lowest price. You can go test drive the car. Yeah, I'll email you, but you don't have to go do anything. I went, I test drove the car. Offer they gave me I didn't like. I went home. A couple other dealerships called me. Hey, we saw you were looking for a car. I'm like, yeah, but I don't like the price that I got. What's the price? We can match it, or we can give you $500 off the price that they gave you. That's fine. But this other dude told me that I had to buy floor mats, and I'm not buying floor mats. And they're like, nah, we'll give you the $500 off, and we'll put the floor mats in there. We don't sell you floor mats. Cool. Right? So that's how you get the dealerships to fight with each other. When you get all of that information and you decide, all right, I'm going to meet with you tomorrow at 1 p.m. to come buy the car. You talk to your credit union, have them run your credit, have them give you the pre-approval, and say, hey, I have my financing. I'm not financing with you guys. Okay? So that way you are one more step prepared when you get to the dealership. The next thing you're going to want to do, talk to your insurance. See if your rates are going to go up or your rates are going to go down. Usually, if you're buying a newer and more equipped car, usually your rates should go down. Okay? Because all the new safety features and all this other stuff, it's like, it's an upside. So don't be afraid that this is going to be raising your rates or nothing. It shouldn't. It should not. And if your insurance raises your rates because you got a newer car, you need to then negotiate with some other insurance companies, because that's a joke. All right. Another thing that you want to look out for when you're buying the car is when you go to the dealership now to buy the car, they always try to sell you stuff. Don't buy anything. If you're financing a car, don't finance options. If a car comes with a certain level of equipment, right? Get that level of equipment that you need, and the rest of the stuff that you want, you can add them on down the road. You can put on some step rails. You can black out your grill. You can put nice tint on your car. You could do all those things by yourself, especially if you're the kind of person who is balling on a budget. You know what I'm saying? You don't let them roll everything into the deal, and so you're financing some running boards. That's kind of, to me, that's just kind of ridiculous. You can do all those things on your own. 1 month you get your paycheck, you just say, hey, I'm gonna buy some running boards for $150, take it over to my dude's house, and we can watch a video on YouTube. Or you can take it to a shop and they charge you an hour labor and you put it on. Those things go into the dealership. It's crazy. They sell you everything at or above MSRP, and they charge you way too much for labor when you do these things in the dealership. So you could look at putting on a set of running boards could cost you up to $1,200, when the running board itself, you could buy a set of running boards for less than $200. Okay, so don't finance options that you can add on yourself. It's better to do it yourself, especially if you get in a car for the long term. Yeah, don't finance all those things. And another thing that a lot of people fall for, get stuff don't get all this additional stuff, because that's just more stuff to break. Okay? Don't matter how good your car is, stuff is going to break. And if you get all the bells and whistles, that's just more stuff to break. After the day is done, you can get some things you add on as time goes on, make the car your own or whatever you like to do. That's great. Okay? So let me break it down. Do your research. Let the dealerships compete. Get your outside financing, especially through your credit union, and go to the dealership. Don't let them sell you anything. Don't buy Gap. Don't buy extended warranties. Don't buy all that stuff. Don't buy clear coat. Don't buy nothing. Don't let them sell you nothing. Okay? Side note is, if you have done your research and you negotiate the deal of a lifetime for yourself, you shouldn't need gap insurance. Right? You should not need, because you will owe less than 100% of what the car is worth when you get out there. And that's when you're going to look into which brand of cars, what type of vehicle is rated as the most value out there in the industry. That way, when you get a car and you drive it off the lot, it doesn't lose 30% right away. A lot of cars do that, especially some American cars. And to me, that's just crazy, but that's how the thing works. But you have to do that kind of research and make sure that you get it down to where when you leave the dealership and you check the value of your car versus what you owe, it should be less than 100%. If you want to get gap, if you feel that somewhere you need to get this gap insurance because maybe you had some negative equity and you had to roll in like $2,000 or $3,000 over into the new deal, fine. Call your insurance company and add the gap. That way, the gap, you can discontinue it whenever you want, or you can add it on whenever you want. Okay? They don't have to sell you gap. They at the dealership will sell you gap for an additional $40 a month, and they're gonna tell you it's only, just add $40, and if your car then nah, you can get that for as low as $7, maybe lower. Right? It's up to you. You can get that whenever you want. Don't let them sell you gap insurance. Don't let them sell you protection. If you're buying a new car, you should not need an extended warranty, right? I mean, you're going to take care of the car. You're going to go get your oil changes. All these cars come with a manufacturer's warranty. A lot of them come with a couple years of bumper to bumper. Just read all that information. Get all the information you need. Which car is going to need less upkeep for you and your family. Okay? That is basically it in a nutshell. I can tell you, with my car being what it is, $40,514, you can see it right there. That was the MSRP, and I had $4,000 in negative equity on my other car, which that deal really sucked for me. I really got hurt in that, and this is kind of what inspired me to do some more research and share the information that I learned with you guys. Okay? I want you to know that when I left the dealership, I owed the bank $36,000. That's with rolling in $4,000 worth of negative equity into this. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot get the discount that you're asking for. It is out there. Make sure they're applying all of these discounts that you're supposed to get and the rebates that you qualify for. Get all of those. And again, know what your trade is worth. Know how much money your trade is worth. Take it. Go on kbb.com, request a cash quote. Somebody will call you, take a look at it, and tell you, hey, I can give you $5,000 for this. If you're in a position where you prefer to take the $5,000 and go do something else, then that's great. If it's a car that you still have a loan on, what is good is you can take that car and trade it in, but make sure they're giving you at or above what your car is worth today. Okay? Don't go in blind and then trust that they're going to do the right thing. They're never going to do the right thing by you. The car salesman gets paid according to how well he does. Not for the customer, how well he does for the business. He doesn't get paid because he made you happy. Okay, so you make sure you know that. Do all your research. All your research. You cannot do enough. Get all the information and use it wisely. TrueCar.com, Edmunds, Cars.com, Car Gurus, all those people. Watch the reviews, pay attention to what they say, and watch other videos. Watch all the other videos with all the tips and tricks on how to get a great deal, how to negotiate with the car dealerships. Do it from your home. Okay, get on your computer, get on your smartphone, whatever you have to your advantage or accessible to you. Use those devices to get you the car deal of a lifetime. Trust me, it worked great for me. I'm in here sweating my ass off. I think I'm gonna probably do a couple more videos on stuff that I'm gonna add on to the car as I go along. I'm probably gonna do some running boards. I think in a couple weeks I'm gonna get all my chrome blacked out with some vinyl wraps. It's not a lot of chrome, but I want my car to look different from the other cars. Little things like that the dealerships want to charge you an arm and a leg for, that I know you can find a guy who knows another guy who can do this thing. All right? Peace out. Just be smart.